Have you ever wondered how much of the world you're truly seeing? Right now, the universe is alive with phenomena. Colors beyond imagination, sounds too low or too high to hear, and forces shaping our reality that we'll never feel. Yet, we walk through life convinced that what we perceive is the whole story. But here's the truth. Your senses only scratch the surface. For instance, the light you see is just a tiny fraction, 0.0035%, of the electromagnetic spectrum. Imagine all the wonders hiding in the other 99.9965%. And it's not just light. Think of the sounds you miss, the magnetic fields you can't feel, the unseen matter that makes up most of the universe. What if everything you thought you knew about reality was just a fraction of the whole? Philosophers and spiritual leaders have pondered this for centuries. In the Upanishads, there's a line that says, "What is seen is only the shell, but what is unseen is the essence." It's a poetic reminder that the universe's most profound truths often lie hidden. And isn't that exciting? It means that every day is an opportunity to explore, to question, and to rediscover the world around us, not just through science, but through a deeper understanding of our own consciousness. So, as we begin this journey into the limits of perception, keep this in mind. What you see, hear, and feel is just the beginning. The real question is, are you ready to explore what lies beyond? Seeing only a fraction of the light. Think about your eyes for a moment. They're incredible tools, capable of detecting over 1 million shades of color and helping you navigate the world with ease. But here's the twist. Your eyes are also deceiving you. What they show you is just a tiny fraction of what's really out there. Let's break it down. The electromagnetic spectrum is a vast range of energy that includes radio waves, microwaves, infrared, ultraviolet, X-rays, and gamma rays. But what can humans see? A minuscule sliver we call visible light, just 0.2035% of the entire spectrum. Imagine standing in front of a giant mural, but you can only see a single brushstroke. That's our reality. Meanwhile, other creatures see the world in ways we can't even imagine. Bees, for example, see ultraviolet patterns on flowers that guide them to nectar. Snakes detect infrared heat signatures, essentially seeing the warmth of their prey. To them, the world is a completely different place. This concept resonates deeply with spiritual traditions. In the Bible, there's a verse in Corinthians. For now, we see through a glass darkly, but then face to face. It reminds us that our understanding of reality is limited, like looking at the world through a frosted window. But the spiritual journey, like science, urges us to clear that glass, to seek a fuller understanding of the universe. This idea is also profoundly reflected in the Quran, as it says, "They have hearts with which they do not understand, they have eyes with which they do not see, and they have ears with which they do not hear." This verse isn't just about exploring the capacity of physical senses, it's a call to extend our mental faculties, to move beyond passive observation and engage in deeper understanding. Scientists have long suggested that humans use only 5 to 7% of their brain's potential, leaving vast cognitive capacities untapped. Could it be that we're being asked to not only see with our eyes, but perceive with our intellect and spirit? This ties into the very essence of exploration, both scientific and spiritual. The universe is filled with signs, hidden in light we cannot see, sounds we cannot hear, and dimensions we cannot fathom. The divine call is clear. Don't stop at what's obvious. Use the full capacity of your mind and soul to explore, understand, and connect with the deeper realities of existence. So, the next time you gaze at a sunset or marvel at a rainbow, take a moment to wonder, what else is out there just beyond your sight? What truths are waiting to be discovered in the light you'll never see? Sounds we'll never hear. Close your eyes for a moment and listen. What do you hear? Maybe the hum of a fan, the chirping of birds, or distant traffic. But here's a mind-bending fact. What you're hearing is just a tiny fragment of the universe's soundscape. Humans hear between 20 Hz and 20 kHz, a respectable range, but it leaves out so much. Below 20 Hz are infrasonic sounds, used by elephants to communicate across miles. Above 20 kHz are ultrasonic frequencies, the secret language of bats as they navigate the night. Imagine what it would be like to hear the earth groaning as tectonic plates shift, or the songs of whales as they echo across oceans. These sounds exist. They're as real as your favorite song, but they're forever beyond our perception. In The Music of Life, Hazrat Inayat Khan describes sound as the thread connecting all creation. He writes, "Each tone has its own effect upon the heart, and together they create the harmony of existence." What if these inaudible frequencies are part of a universal symphony, a song of existence that humans are only partially attuned to? Modern science is catching up with this ancient wisdom. Sound healing, for example, uses specific frequencies to bring the body and mind into balance. Could it be that these missing sounds hold the key to healing or even enlightenment? Here's a thought. If sound is vibration, and vibration is energy, then every sound you can't hear is still affecting you in ways you don't realize. So, the next time you sit in silence, ask yourself, what might the universe be whispering that you can't hear? The mysteries of dark matter and dark energy. Look up at the night sky. What do you see? Stars, planets, maybe the faint glow of the Milky Way. It's breathtaking. But here's the catch. All of it, the stars, the planets, everything visible, makes up less than 5% of the universe. What about the rest? Scientists tell us that 27% of the cosmos is dark matter, an invisible substance we can't see, touch, or detect directly. And yet, it's there, holding galaxies together with its gravitational pull. But even more mysterious is dark energy, which accounts for a staggering 68% of the universe. Unlike dark matter, which pulls things together with gravity, dark energy does the opposite. It pushes the universe apart, accelerating its expansion. Think about that for a moment. Almost 3/4 of the universe is made up of a force we barely understand, driving galaxies further and further away from each other at ever-increasing speeds. It's strange, isn't it? Two invisible forces, dark matter and dark energy, one holding everything together, the other tearing everything apart. They seem to mirror the dualities we see in nature, creation and destruction, light and dark, yin and yang. This brings to mind a line from the Tao Te Ching. The Tao is like a well, used but never used up. It is the eternal void, filled with infinite possibilities. Dark matter and dark energy feel like modern echoes of this ancient wisdom, forces shaping the universe, much like the Tao shapes existence. Scientists are still trying to unravel these mysteries. Some believe dark matter is made of particles we've never encountered, while dark energy might hint at deeper dimensions or even new laws of physics. But their very existence challenges the way we think about reality. If 95% of the universe is invisible and undetectable to us, how much of our daily lives might be influenced by forces we can't perceive? On a spiritual level, dark matter and dark energy remind us that the most important things, love, intuition, connection, are often invisible. You can't measure them, but you can feel their presence. Perhaps the universe is asking us to embrace the unseen, to trust that what lies beyond our senses is just as real, if not more so, than what we experience directly. The cosmos whispers a profound truth. Reality is far richer and stranger than we can imagine. Animals and the hidden magnetic compass. Have you ever wondered how birds find their way across continents, or how sharks navigate vast oceans? It turns out they're using a skill we don't have, the ability to sense Earth's magnetic field. This phenomenon, called magnetoreception, allows animals to perceive something invisible to us, a natural compass guiding their every move. Imagine if humans had this sense. How would it change the way we interact with the world? Would we feel more connected to nature, more in tune with our surroundings? In animal magnetism, Franz Mesmer speculated about the existence of unseen forces linking all living beings. While his ideas were controversial, they hint at a deeper truth, that there are dimensions of reality accessible to other creatures but hidden from us. This ability isn't just fascinating, it's humbling. It reminds us that humans aren't the center of the universe. Other beings experience the world in ways we'll never fully understand. The Quran beautifully captures this sentiment, stating, "And there is no creature on earth or bird that flies with its wings, except that they are communities like you." Perhaps magnetoreception is a metaphor for intuition, that inner sense of direction we sometimes ignore. Just as birds trust the magnetic pull of the earth, maybe we're meant to trust the subtle, unseen forces that guide us. After all, not everything real can be measured. Some truths can only be felt. How the brain filters reality. Your brain is constantly working behind the scenes, filtering the chaos of the world into something you can manage. Right now, it's blocking out the feeling of your clothes on your skin, the hum of your refrigerator, and even the sound of your own heartbeat. Why? Because if it didn't, you'd be overwhelmed. But here's the trade-off. While this filtering makes life easier, it also limits what you perceive. You're only experiencing a fraction of what's actually happening around you. In The Doors of Perception, Aldous Huxley describes the brain as a reducing valve, narrowing down the infinite inputs of reality into something digestible. This idea aligns with spiritual practices like meditation, which aim to quiet the brain's filters and expand awareness. The Bhagavad Gita says, "The mind is restless and hard to control, but it can be trained by practice." By calming the mind, you can start to notice the subtle details of existence, the things your brain usually ignores. Modern neuroscience supports this. Studies show that mindfulness practices can literally rewire the brain, enhancing your ability to focus and perceive. It's as if meditation opens a door to a wider reality, allowing you to see the world with fresh eyes. Now, let's pause and wonder. If we are capable of perceiving so much with just 5 to 7% of our brain's potential, what would happen if we unlocked more? What realities might we uncover? Could we begin to perceive the electromagnetic waves, sounds, or dimensions that are currently invisible to us? Could we tap into hidden layers of consciousness, or even gain new insights into the mysteries of the universe? Perhaps the key lies in training the mind and expanding our awareness, an idea echoed in ancient spiritual practices and modern neuroscience alike. So, the next time you feel stuck in your own head, remember, your brain is just a filter, not the whole story. And sometimes, stepping outside that filter can change everything, opening doors to possibilities we haven't yet imagined. What exists beyond our senses? Picture a world with 11 dimensions, where space and time bend and twist in ways you can't imagine. This isn't science fiction, it's string theory, a leading idea in modern physics. According to this theory, our three-dimensional world is just one layer of a much larger, multi-dimensional reality. But if these dimensions exist, why can't we see them? It's not that they're not there, it's that our senses are too limited to perceive them. This concept mirrors the story in Flatland by Edwin A. Abbott, where a two-dimensional being encounters a three-dimensional object. To the flat creature, the 3D object is incomprehensible, just as higher dimensions are to us. Spiritual traditions often hint at these hidden realities. In Buddhism, there's the idea of sunyata, or emptiness, which suggests that the true nature of reality is beyond ordinary perception. It's a reminder that what we see isn't the whole story, it's just one layer of a much deeper truth. And this isn't just theoretical. Quantum physics has shown us that particles can exist in multiple states at once and even influence each other across vast distances. These discoveries challenge everything we thought we knew about reality, forcing us to confront the limits of our senses and the vastness of the unknown. Interconnectedness across time and space. Take a moment to imagine this. Every action you take, every word you speak, ripples through the universe in ways you can't see. Science is beginning to validate what spiritual traditions have taught for centuries. Everything is connected. Quantum entanglement, for instance, reveals that two particles can be separated by vast distances and still influence each other instantaneously. It's as if the universe itself is woven together by invisible threads, where one pull on the fabric affects the entire design. This echoes the Navajo concept of Hodsho, which teaches harmony and balance between all beings. When you act with respect and care, you don't just improve your own life, you contribute to the well-being of the whole. Robin Wall Kimmerer captures this beautifully in Braiding Sweetgrass. All flourishing is mutual. This isn't just poetic, it's scientific. Ecosystems thrive on interdependence, from the way trees share nutrients through underground fungal networks to the balance of predator and prey. Humans, too, are part of this web, though we often forget it. So, what would happen if we truly embraced this interconnectedness? If we understood that every small act of kindness, every choice to protect the earth, contributes to something greater? The universe isn't just a collection of separate objects, it's a living, breathing network, and we're all a part of it. Ancient practices for expanding perception. For thousands of years, humans have sought ways to expand their perception and connect with the unseen. Ancient practices like shamanic rituals, lucid dreaming, and meditation aren't just relics of the past, they're powerful tools for accessing realities beyond the physical. In The Shaman's Doorway by Stephen Larson, shamanic journeys are described as pathways to broader realms of consciousness. Shamans believe that the spiritual and physical worlds are intertwined, and that by entering altered states, they can access wisdom, healing, and insight. Modern neuroscience supports this idea, showing that practices like meditation and chanting alter brainwave activity, opening the door to heightened awareness. Even dreams can be a gateway. Tibetan Buddhism teaches Milam, the practice of lucid dreaming, where the dreamer becomes aware within the dream. This isn't just a mental exercise, it's a spiritual tool for exploring the mind and understanding the deeper truths of existence. These practices remind us that perception isn't fixed. It's something we can expand, refine, and transform. And as we do, we begin to glimpse the vast universe that lies just beyond the edges of our senses. Quantum physics and mysticism collide. At first glance, quantum physics and mysticism might seem like opposites, one rooted in science, the other in spirituality. But when you look closer, they share an astonishing common ground. Both challenge the idea of a fixed, objective reality and invite us to question the nature of existence itself. Take the observer effect, for example. In quantum experiments, particles behave differently when they're being observed, suggesting that consciousness influences matter. It's a finding that echoes ancient teachings, like those in David Bohm's Wholeness and the Implicate Order, where the universe is described as an interconnected hologram. Every part contains the whole, and every action ripples across the fabric of existence. Mysticism has long held similar ideas. Sufism, for instance, speaks of Tawheed, the oneness of all creation, where everything is a reflection of the divine. In this view, separateness is an illusion. Quantum physics seems to affirm this, showing that particles can remain connected even when separated by vast distances, a phenomenon Einstein called spooky action at a distance. So, what does this mean for us? It means that the boundaries we perceive, between matter and energy, between self and other, are far less solid than we think. Perhaps the universe isn't a collection of separate pieces, but a single, unified whole, and perhaps in some profound way, we're all a part of it. Why curiosity is our greatest gift. The limits of perception can feel frustrating. Why can't we see all the light, hear all the sounds, or grasp the full truth of reality? But here's the thing, those limits aren't just barriers, they're invitations. They're what make us curious. Curiosity is the driving force behind both science and spirituality. It's what led humans to ask, what lies beyond the stars? And eventually build telescopes to find out. It's what inspires us to meditate, to pray, to seek meaning in the chaos of life. As the Buddha said, doubt everything, find your own light. This insatiable desire to explore is uniquely human. It's what pushes us to uncover the mysteries of dark matter, to decode the language of animals, to question the nature of time and space. It's also what connects us to something greater. Every question we ask, whether through science or spirituality, is a step closer to understanding the vast unknown. The Quran reminds us, "Say, are the blind and the seeing equal? Will you not then reflect?" Reflection is the seed of curiosity, and curiosity is the root of discovery. So rather than being discouraged by the limits of perception, let's embrace them. They're a reminder that the universe is far larger, far stranger, and far more beautiful than we can imagine. Seeing beyond the visible. As we reach the end of this exploration, think about all we've uncovered. The tiny fraction of light we can see, the sounds we'll never hear, the magnetic fields we can't feel, and the dark matter that shapes our universe. These aren't just scientific curiosities, they're reminders of the infinite mystery that surrounds us. The philosopher Laozi once wrote, "The further one goes, the less one knows." It's a humbling truth. The more we learn about the universe, the more we realize how much we don't know, but that's what makes life extraordinary. Each discovery is a doorway to another question, another possibility, another glimpse into the unseen. So, what can we take away from all this? Perhaps it's the understanding that our perception of reality is just the beginning. The universe is vast, interconnected, and filled with forces we're only starting to understand. And while we may never grasp the full picture, The journey of trying is what makes us human. So let's keep asking questions. Let's keep exploring. Because beyond the visible, beyond the audible, beyond the known, lies a world of infinite wonder, and it's waiting for us to notice.